Hello, my name is Doreen Wuckert. I am the author of Wedding Wisdom, a practical guide to personalizing your wedding. Tonight I will read excerpts from my book on how to maintain your marriage after the wedding, followed by one of the unusual anecdotes from the book called Wedding Theatrics. Sound advice and suggestions. The following advice and suggestions were gained during my marriage of 49 years and hundreds of weddings I have officiated. Some examples of suggestions are: remind yourselves frequently of the love you feel for one another and how much you appreciate this love. Another example: sometimes one or both partners have a roving eye, thinking someone else may be better partner for them. Be careful. You may be bored or feel things are not going as well as you expect. If this happens, consider what needs to be changed. Weigh the pros and cons of your relationship before doing anything rash. An extramarital affair may look appealing initially, but looking beyond the surface, you may see dire consequences. Also, you may see the same difficulties you have in your marriage arising in an affair. Another example: if your marriage is breaking down, be willing to see a counselor. A counselor can give you different and better ways to communicate with each other and a different perspective. Counseling can succeed with some work and patience on your part. Some couples think seeing a counselor is a sign of weakness and are embarrassed. Rather, it is a sign of intelligence. You know you are having difficulties. What better way to overcome these difficulties than by talking to an expert in the field? You see a mechanic when you have difficulty with your car, or a doctor when you think there is something physically wrong. Why hesitate when it comes to your marriage? It may cost more money than you expect, still likely less than a car repair, but the investment could save a good marriage. Another example: remember, every day is a new day. Don't dwell on the past, hurts. Talk about them and let it go. Establishing values you both hold dear will provide common ground for your relationship. Be aware it is easier to blame your partner than to come up with sound solutions to issues. Own up to your mistakes, outbursts, and/or mean words. Be brave and responsible enough to apologize. And now I'll read you an excerpt from the book, one of the unusual anecdotes called Wedding Theatrics. Agrip asked me to officiate his wedding. Agrip is a part of a production team who arranges the sets and the props in a movie or play. This Grip wanted his marriage to take place in a concert hall. He told me he dreamt of making a grand entrance. He wanted to float down from the ceiling of the theater's stage and have contemporary dancers greet him as he softly landed. They would dance around him before pitter-pattering off the stage. The bride would then walk down the theater's center aisle to meet him on stage. Quite a dream, I thought to myself. Hopefully he doesn't expect me to fly in from the audience to perform the ceremony. I told him I take my position seriously and I would like to perform the ceremony in a very solemn manner. He assured me that was what he wanted as well, but he felt he had to fulfill his dream. His fiancée was willing to oblige. To reassure me, he invited me to the rehearsal. I settled into a central seat in the audience to watch the floating dancing performance with the troupe of all young women reaching their graceful arms and bodies up to greet the groom and closing in on him as he softly landed before they flittered lightly off stage. I was apprehensive about what I had got myself into. After the opening theatrics, I came on stage to rehearse the ceremony. It was taken seriously. I started to relax and feel relieved. When the actual ceremony took place, I had difficulty holding back tears, one of the hazards of my job. He had a marvelous singer friend fly in from Quebec, whose voice and choice of songs were so moving. He drew us to tears. It was one of the most beautiful ceremonies I had the pleasure of officiating. When my husband and I were leaving, a young person came up and asked me for my autograph. Graciously, I obliged. The first and last time, I felt like a star. This concludes the reading from my book, Wedding Wisdom, a practical guide to personalizing your wedding. If you found the readings interesting, please pick up my book at Amazon Kindle, Google Play, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, Friesen Press, or contact me through my website, weddingwisdombook.com.